Hi traders, this is Thiago and welcome to Boulevard Futures channel. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel and leave your like after watching the video. Today we're carrying out another live transmission. If this is your first time, my objective here is to share my knowledge, share my approach, and to show how mixing order flow tools with technical analysis can improve traders' strategy, or you can get efficiency in terms of entries and exits, and so on. So objective here is to show this. As usual, I will start from our pre-market studies. Every Monday, I make a weekly newsletter with a brief from previous week and some perspectives for the coming week. And also we have the daily pre-market studies where we detail for each session what we are seeing, we make a draft of possible scenarios and what we could expect. Some highlights of regions that we should watch. Sorry, I just realized that the camera was turned off, but that's it. So I'm moving now back again to the screen. And so let's start from the studies, okay? I've just delivered this, and what I'm seeing here, I will not pass through all the part. I try to make a brief summary here. Starting from I like, especially on Monday, I like to check the weekly chart to see in a broader perspective. And this week, what's grabbing my attention is the bounce we had here in 38.22, and this big green candle from last week. Markets in a downtrend from January 22nd, and we see it touched 3 times this downtrend line, and in the previous 2 times we've seen a steep move downwards, since it's expected to happen in a downtrend. Then in August we had the same, but here in December we touched it there. There was an immediate rejection, and prices got stuck here. We had 13, 14 days of congestion here, and prices headed upwards. Market didn't do another low here, such as it did here and here. So it isolated does not mean anything, but it grabbed my attention since this pause here, this bounce here, shows us a possible bullish strength. So it have implications that we can see here in the daily chart, okay? We had this channel, this uptrend channel here, that as usual is a smaller trend within the bigger trend. Then instead of coming downwards, we got stuck here. I thought that we were drafting here a descending triangle that could break out here downwards, but market did the opposite. It broken up upwards, and we're right at the simple moving average and exponential moving average from 200 days that market broadly use as reference for long-term trends. So it usually, if we look back, this is actually this is usually a strong resistance, but this time, since we didn't do a new low here and got that huge congestion here, then I'm curious. I don't know. I'm curious about how market will behave here in this, right in this theoretical resistance. Yet we are close to this is the downtrend line from January 22nd. Today it's around 41.10 here. And so in theory, this could be also a resistance. And let's see if it's going to overcome the 41.30 here. We are from 40.27 and 40.31. Okay, the exponential, the simple is 40.27, exponential is 40.31. And here 41.10. Okay. The unbalanced volume that I usually mention in my reports, because I really like it when it comes to long-term trend or mid-term trend. We had, during the congestion, we had a kind of distribution there, but since last week here, we are seeing that the unbalanced volume is converging with the price. I mean, it's following an uptrend, such as prices are doing. Okay, so there's no divergence. So in theory, this could actually be the start of this is actually not a trend. When it didn't configure a trend on daily. If we see smaller time frames, we could see something here. But the message here is that both are aligned. Okay, and coming to the 15 minutes that I usually leave in my screen. We have the value area based on Friday figures, goes from 3966.5 here and 4008, okay, 4008 up here. Prices spent the night trading above, and it's spent some time during the night. It lost after Europe opening. It started falling, but then moved upwards, and early in the morning, it actually starts here. It spent some time above the value areas, then traded within, tried to overcome it, and only today, early in the morning, it was able to overcome it. I usually leave here in my screen the pivot points and related resistance, but today, these numbers shown here, we need to disregard them because it's based on yesterday's electronic session. But since there was no regular session, I'm considering the figures from last Friday. Okay, so possibly when talking about this resistance, for example, the support one here is not 39.94, it's actually 39.78. So I will tell you I will not going to consider these numbers from screen. Let me arrange here. So last week, price entered an important region, started trading above the 4,000. I took note from some regions, both from last week and also from December, latest time it traded in this region. So considering the point, we are now 6 minutes from the beginning of the session. Considering the region is started, the first region I've taken note was 12 to 14. And this region is actually, the 14 here is actually working as, I thought that it could open below it and it would be a resistance, but it just made the opposite. It opened above this region and is currently having it as a support. Upwards, we would have the 4020 to 22 that have been already broken, and the 4027, 4031, as I mentioned before, that are simple and exponential moving averages. So this is usually an important region. Let's see how it will behave this session, considering the things I've mentioned at the beginning. Above the 31, we would have the 4043. Okay, that has been an important region before. And then 4056, 4067, 4072, and 4093. Those points were taken from December move. Let's see during the session if they will be relevant again. Moving downwards, we could say that the pivot point at 4001.5 could be, before it actually, we have the value area high that is 4008. Okay, let me just, it's not in place here. 4008. So the first test would be right there. In case it comes downwards, 508, and then the 4004.5 that was relevant last week, and the pivot point at 4001. So we could say that trading below the 4,000 a key, 4,000, we could say that maybe sellers could put their power in place and maybe try to push downwards again, such as last week. And here we would have the first point downwards would be first regions 39.85 to 87, then 39.78, that is support. 39.74 to 76 have been important both when moving up and downwards. That is something I've noted here. And also the 39.48, 39.50 is actually an important region. We have a strong, we have a high volume range traded from 39.48 to 39.74. So there were big struggles, big battles, and trading below the 74 could lead to a try to head downwards towards 39.50. But we had the holiday yesterday. Today we didn't have any relevant indicator, economic indicator. So let's wait and see how prices work. In the first day of the week, I usually prefer to see. I always avoid doing anything right at the beginning, because things tend to be even more volatile. But especially on Monday or on Tuesday, such as today after holiday, since there was a lot of time for players to study, assess, to update models, and sometimes things happen during this period, I prefer to watch a bit and to see a bit more about what markets will design, or how players will trade or will do. It's better to figure it's better to figure out where the less history possibilities could be. We've seen it's a bit choppy, even within a smaller range, because we see it started upwards until the 14, then it turned it downwards, and now it's here. It's better. In this kind of situation, you see my super down here, right in the middle of the screen, and actually what I usually focus on this kind of in these moments are the volume at price here, because I like to wait and to see if ranges will be formed and where them will be. And together with it, looking at the volumetric bars to see what to see who is who seems to be stronger, what's happening on each part of the range. Here, look at here from 16 to 17, we've seen buyers aggressions, but sellers absorbed lots of contracts. Here is a classical exhaustion. 600, not a classical, but we see 600, okay, there's a 2 here, but 500, 300, 104. And if you look here, it was right at the end of the range. So this is something I usually look at. Sometimes not at in the very beginning, like we're actually not in the very beginning. It's almost there's almost 14, 15 minutes, but this is a perfect example of what I look at. I like to see these ranges, and within the limits of the range, this kind of behavior is something that by that time, for scalping, for quick trades, it's interesting to see. When the ranger is more solid, more consolidated, there's more time spent trading around it, then we could consider a longer trades, long-lasting trades, trades lasting a bit longer. Better this way. But what we're seeing now is that after having reached the 23, here I also use, it's not possible to be in my screen, in the recorded screen, but I also have this volumetric bar here. After making this high, it's a longer time. After making this high, it fell down. Then it was facing difficulties to broken the 15 to 17 here. We see this imbalance here, buyers, sellers absorbing buyers' aggressions. Now it overcame, and let's see if it's going to be able to reach the 40.22. Okay, we could consider we are a kind of try to start in an uptrend. We are right at the last close. So it's a definition zone here. We're seeing sellers absorbing again here in the 18, made aggressions, and buyers absorbing 17. So we're seeing that this is a kind of situation that we should just watch, just to look and not considering doing anything. Let's see if to be able to reach the 40.22 or even overcoming it. But we could say that failing to reach here or breaking out, exhausting, and turning back, this would be a weakness signal, and then we could see something, maybe a temporary correction. We're seeing strong buying activity, but at the same time, sellers absorbing as well. You see here, I like the volume at price because it gets clear. Look here, 4020, 2.6 thousand contracts, and then 1200, 10, 900. So this decrease, this especially when is a steep, when is a huge decrease, for me, the huge the better, because you can see that the steeper the better, because you can see that there was actually a strong defense there. But we're seeing here from the left column that sellers are making aggressions, sellers are putting pressure, but here buyers started absorbing. It does not mean that they will be able to win and push price up, but it means that there's activity here. So if I was considering doing a short here, this could be dangerous since they're absorbing. Something could be done only if it lost trade below the 1750, for example, and then we see absorption from sellers here and fail to overcome that again. Then we could do something, but so far here, nothing. Let's see if there will be a new high. Let's see if it's, did you see that we had an exhaustion here in the 21.75? We had the high here at the 23.5. The high in 23.5. And exhaustion, then it's quickly turning back. Then this fail to make the new high together with all this activity here can show that maybe the 4020 could be a resistance. And remember that the point I've taken note and I've mentioned at the beginning was 2022. So you see that this taking notes based on the volume profile and the traded regions is actually interesting. Not only using highs and lows of the candles or charts, not looking only at the charts, but the volume for me is everything. This we can get good info. We can get good info looking at the volume. Then we're seeing these difficulties to overcome the 20. Let's see what's but so far we see that it's actually a tricky start of session because we move it upwards, downwards with big candles, big shadows, candles with big shadows. Such a condition is actually risky to trade, especially if you have, that's my case, if you trade with a small stops. My usual stop is from 2 to 3 points. So it's sometimes it's easy to get stopped and then move favorably. And then in these conditions, for me it's better. It's always better to, since looking at the charts, the candles, it's hard to do something. Try to focus here on the profile. Let's see. We're seeing the range from, we could say, 1450 to 20. 5 points, 6 points. It's a small range to trade. For example, considering the stop I've mentioned, 2 points. Here we could consider if I make a short here, I would not hold in theory longer than this 15. So I would have the cap of let's say a cap of 5 points, and uh, and with this sharpness, it could be not that favorable. It would not be favorable odds to try something. Let's see again the 20 here. It's with breakout with few contracts. It's hard to overcome with such a few contracts. But let's see if, depending on the momentum, on the continuity of the aggressions. We've seen here sellers made aggressions, buyers absorbed here, buyers absorbing on the 20, showing that they are there, and that is interesting. It's of their interest here. Let's see if it's gonna make a new high. We're seeing also sellers absorbing. But sometimes I mention about the big players. I have here another times and sales, a filter times and sales with blocks more bigger than, I guess, 15 contracts, I guess. Yeah, we're seeing that selling activity is not that big. It's kind of have 50-50 here from sellers and buyers. So in this breakout of 2023 here, we did not see any significant aggression here. It does not mean it's not going to break out, or it could not move faster upwards or long upwards. But what we see that the most trustful moves or the best moves usually have lots of contracts from big players, because in the end of the day, usually big players or big volumes that are actually making the moves. Okay, this usually shows the interest, and it's usual to see when we see interesting breakouts. It's usually we usually see here one of the sides prevailing in terms of size of aggressions. You see here 17, 15, 20, 20, 50. Okay, 50, but it's the size of contracts is a bit lower. So it have broken the 23, but we're seeing sellers trying, buyers trying, but sellers absorbing, sellers making aggressions, and buyers also absorbing. So it's better just to watch, just to watch the match. And in my perspective, okay. But what we're saying is that even trying this time, they've tried, buyers have tried, but they were not able to move, to displace prices significantly. And you're seeing that they spend lots of contracts there, lots of sellers absorption, and when sellers took the lead, the slide of 4 or 5 points. I usually like taking the 2-minute moving average here as reference of trend. This is the 24 hours. Many times I use the regular trading hours. Today I'm considering this one to check. Since behavior changes from time to time, I'm looking at it to check whether it's going to, if it could be better. But you see, we made the high, a new high here, but actually the new high was only fifth, half point above the previous one. So this shows kind of lacking of conviction, because you have a breakout, kind of breakout, and price moves only 50, only 50 bips, sorry, 0.5 points, and there's no big aggressions pushing prices up. This is usually a sign of weakness, not necessarily meaning that sellers will take the lead and make a reversal, but that prices could trade sideways. Interesting to check here in the 15 minutes. Look at the size of the shadows of the candles. This shows this indecision. So if markets this way, why we would be entering right in the middle of the mess? So this, what we're seeing being configured is this big range that now it got a bit riskier to do something in the 20 since it reached there, but maybe we would consider here the 22.5, 23 as a reference. Look here, the absorption. Lots of aggressions and a strong absorption. This is meaningful. We had all these absorptions, and right at the top of this short-term candle, 2-minute candle key, there was that strong absorption. This usually means that, okay, buyers were strong, they made lots of aggressions, but sellers were strong as well. They absorbed it. But let's see. This region is currently the session's point of control. That means that is actually lots of beta in this kind of region. Look here, it's from oh wow. Now we had let me see, did we have some indicator? It's a fail because I should know this. I should know every time we had something to be released. I don't remember about an indicator at 10. No, there's no indicators. It was just at the breakout, actually. Wow. Because it's interesting, because in these round times, such as 10 o'clock now, many times we have the indicators, the economic data that usually shakes, but this time it was only since market is very technical, I say, respect the technical or charts, technical configurations, technical analysis. So in these round times, we see many actions. It's usually to see at 10, 15, 10:30, we see that many times the big moves are on those times. And you see look at here, I'll put that times and sales. I mentioned about the size. Look at here, a selling aggression of 200 contracts right at 27. It was a huge defense here from from sellers, a huge, they hit 200 contracts, but it's been absolutely absorbed by buyers. This shows buying strength because it absorbed in 23, 25, and 27. This is meaningful. And now we just reached the 4031. Remember that I've mentioned that 4027 is the simple moving average, and the 4031 is the exponential moving average. Lots of selling aggression here and buyers absorbing. Let's see what happens. So this is a look here. We are in the daily. We are right at both moving averages. But as I've mentioned, I'm curious about what's going to happen here, since prices last week, actually, we could consider that it's been reached because prices reached the 4021, and in such a long term and big moves, 10 points is nothing. Look at here. Sellers are trying to defend, but look at the buying activity as well. Huge absorptions. Sellers making huge aggressions and buyers making huge absorptions. Above here, the next region I have noted is 4043. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see what's gonna happen if it's gonna reach there. So as it could be expected, an increase of intensity around this moving average. But let's see how long this battle will last, and who will win this, who will be the victorious winner. It's usually hard to see passing through this kind of average, but considering the long time frame, the long-term trend, we could see 5, 10 points, price overcoming 5, 10, 15 points, and then turning back. So for scalping, it's too much points, and then the perspective is a bit different when we talk about scalp and regular trades, isn't it? Let's see. We're starting to make this small region here from 28 to 30. Let's see whether it's going to form a range also here. Now price assumed we could see, or we are trading above the 2-minute moving average. That is my reference, the reference I use. Let's see. Let's see what happens. we've seen, I was mentioning about the size of the contracts. Look here, this buying contracts, 100, 200, 175, 104. These are big contracts, and usually if you have this kind of aggression, generally you have a huge breakout or strong breakout and moves. But since here is a crucial, is, a, is an area of interest from many players, big players, then this kind of, you see this kind of aggression, but followed by a same size absorption. So you see huge fights from big players fighting there. But let's see if it's going to be able to trade below the 28 here. Let's see if the 28, 27, the simple moving average is 27. We're seeing this range above it from 27 to exponential is 31. You see that exactly from 28.5 to 31, from 30 to 32. We have this congestion here. So considering the region, it's, in my perspective, is actually risky to do something because it's of interest from big players and it can get shaken. And so I prefer to, usually in this situation, I prefer to watch and see, to wait and see. Look here, the absorption from 30. We're seeing that there's, even though sellers are trying to defend, we're seeing buyers appetite here as well. Look here in the volumetric bars, the left column here. They're actually they're making lots of absorptions as well. This can lead to the continuity. Many times it only means that we just get things stuck there. But with such an interest, it could also keep moving. And turning back to the economic indicators, today, this session, we have not that relevant, no relevant indicators, but tomorrow we have the PPI retail sales and one or two more. So this PPI usually increase the choppiness. Many times it shakes the market. Today it's continuing upwards, a kind of continued of the enthusiasm from last week after FONC's meeting. Let's see what's we're seeing here after that breakout in 23. We have this big green candle here in 2 minutes. We could say they are trying to make a to design an uptrend. Here is the 5 minutes. Here. That means when we see this kind of configuration here, for me it tends to be more interesting to search for long trades than short because we are in an uptrend. Sometimes if we have clear indications of the volumetric bars, if we have a clear range limit here and a clear indication of the volumetric bars, sometimes a counter trend worth it, but it's usually better to avoid because it could work, but since you're against the trend, it could quickly get you. And I think that in the long run, you can leave some money in the table, considering the trades it could work it, but I'd say that you can save more because you will avoid unnecessary losses. Let's see here. We're seeing here from 32 to 32.75. Look at here, volumetric as well. The strong negotiation in 32. Let's see if buyers will. If we see here prices breaking out the 34, but with few contracts making an exhaustion above it, this could be a weakness signal, and then this could let room to a short trade upon some confirmations. We see here that it did not even reach the 35. From the way the super down is shaking, we are seeing sometimes even not reading the numbers, we can see it, the way it shakes. We see that the pressure or what's happening. We see that we've reached here. We tried to reach here the limit of this range, this lower range. Let's see if it's going to be able to, if buyers will be able to hold it here, 29.25. Let's see if sellers will be able to break the bottom of this range. Let's see what happens here. We're seeing buyers absorbing, sellers putting pressure, but buyers absorbing. I stay here more few minutes. We're reaching 50 minutes of transmission. I think that it's enough. It's a dose big enough for us to discuss these concepts. And today is Tuesday. I'm intending to make again on Thursday. I try to make it always every week on Tuesday and Thursday. Twice a week we could have a good opportunity to stay together. And if you follow 2 transmissions a week, you could keep getting used with the approach. We had this 15 point here, these 2 candles here, and now we are kind of an indecision here. Kind of, it seems it's kind to form a triangle here, ascending triangle. I don't know. Let's see what happens. We're seeing the bottom of the range being respected here. 27.5 was respected. Moving upwards, let's see whether the 32 will be respected as well. Here we didn't reach. Oh, we reach exactly the same point, the previous. So buyers are defended on 7.5. Let's see whether sellers will be able to defend here in the 32, 33. Let's see. The kind of an exhaustion in. No. This is not current data. 32. We've seen buyers trying to push, to put pressure. We've seen lots of small buying contracts. This time, we are not seeing big blocks. We're not seeing big aggressions, both from sellers and buyers, but a continuous intensity from smaller size here. Let's see if it comes again to 27. Okay, guys, I'm not going to wait this development, the development of this triangle. It seems to be a triangle, isn't it? And actually, besides the triangle, this is what I mentioned. The flow or the volume profile is supporting us in seeing what's happening. And let's see who will win this time. Okay. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Leave your like, and if you like and is already a subscriber, activate your notifications so as you can be informed when you can get noticed when we have info, when we have news. Okay. Thank you very much. See you.